Good. So once again, I see your name is Jang Sang Kim. How would you like
It's
to?
my kind of a secular name, so we don't use
Okay,
that name. So in our sangha, we use another name. It's Il Min.
Il Min. Yeah,
Yeah,
Il Min, Il Min. Okay, and is Il Min Sumin, right?
Sunim is a kind of a respective expression for the monks in Buddhism.
Okay,
So
okay,
normally people call me just Il Min Sunim. Yes, and it's just
okay.
general. So no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah. Good. I would like to start just by asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself
Mm.
and your journey to into Buddhism. Have you always been a Buddhist, or is it a journey that took you there?
Okay. Actually, as I wrote in the letter, then I was not a Buddhist before the graduation of high school. Then, yeah, actually, my mother, went to the temple with me when I was young. But I didn't believe in Buddhism then at that time. Then I tried to find some truth of life or life and death, and then while doing that, then I could meet the Buddhist practice. Then I decided, yeah, this is this is the one I was looking for. Then I became a Buddhist from the junior in the university. Mhm. And then, after that, after the graduation of university, then I just uh, came to the temple to become a monk.
So you,
Professor, your
okay, I see that. So you were very young when that happened. When you,
Yeah. You know, about 21 years old. And
okay, wow, that's very young. What did you study? What was your major?
in the university.
Yeah.
In the university, I majored in the East Asian history
Okay.
in yeah
Okay. So
the Seoul National University in East Asian history. Yeah.
yeah. Wow, that's quite a thing. So you said that you had the search for questions in life. What kind of questions did you have?
Oh yeah. Just like that. When I met the death of my best friend and my grandpa,
Mhm.
then I was I wasn't too sad, but I was just curious about the what is death, what
Mhm.
and what would happen if I die later.
Mhm.
Then there was no information to me.
Mhm.
So I was so reading many books about death and the after
Mhm.
death experience.
Mhm.
Then the some so soul journeys and
Mhm.
many books.
Mhm.
And then yoga and meditation. But at that time, I didn't meet the
Mhm.
Buddhist practice.
Mhm. Mhm.
Then I looked around many religions and practices. Then I was not satisfied with that. So I couldn't find my answer. Then when I met the Buddhism, then
Mhm.
I thought, yeah, this is the one I was looking for. And
You say you met the Buddhism or Buddhism. Um, did you go to a temple stay, or was it a specific kind of course or something that you did in
no,
Buddhism? How did you meet Buddhism?
Buddhism actually, I I went to the temple. Actually, in Korea, there are a lot
Yeah,
of temples.
yeah.
So most people can meet Buddhism in any place. Like there are so many temples, and when I was young, my mother went to some small temple.
Okay.
Then I just took her, by
Mm,
car, or sometimes I accompanied her.
mm,
Then, but
mm,
I didn't believe in Buddhism at the
mm,
time.
mm, mm,
Just for
mm,
like a sightseeing or
mm,
something.
mm, mm.
Then and when while trying to find the answer of
Mhm.
life and death, then I joined the the Buddhist club when I was in university.
Okay. A
And
Buddhist club. Okay.
yeah, it was a meditation club.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
we all together meet in the morning and practice in the morning
Yeah.
in our club room.
Yeah.
Then, actually, interestingly, then most of them just became a monk after graduation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, um, you talked about death and afterlife,
Mhm.
and you said that that was sort of the prompt that make you think about religion and uh, take it very seriously.
Mhm.
Did you find your answers about death and life?
For now,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I found my answer, and
Ah,
I'm kind of satisfied with the answer, and but I know from the perspective of Buddhism, then I'm not finished about the answer because I
okay.
have to still practice, have to practice. Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell us what is the Buddhist take on death? What do they
Mm,
believe about death?
and actually, death is not a good thing from the normal sense.
Mm,
But is the in Buddhist in Buddhist teaching, the death is just the end of the journey, just from the one life during the one life.
okay.
But in as you know, in Buddhism, we believe in the reincarnation.
Okay.
So that is the end of one life, but
Mm,
still it could be the another beginning of
yeah.
the another life.
Okay. What will determine the other life?
Mm.
Like the way that that a person lives in this life,
Mhm.
or is there something else that determine
Mhm.
the comeback, the reincarnation?
Yeah, it's one of the most important thing in Buddhism.
Mm,
Actually, in Buddhism, what determines the next life
mm,
is, we say, is karma.
okay.
Karma.
Mm,
Karma is the the main thing of the karma is the intention.
mm,
One behaved with, or one thought with.
mm,
So intention just makes the karma. Once intention makes the karma, then the karma just makes the whole life and
mm.
determines the next life.
Can you maybe tell us a little bit more what is karma?
Mm. Let's say if you kill somebody
Ah,
with anger
yeah.
and with so bad intention, then it's called bad karma.
Okay.
And like a footprints, karma is like a footprints in your mind, in your heart.
Okay.
So, but the basic teaching in Buddhism is the most important teaching in Buddhism is the principle of cause and effect.
Okay.
So if you make the footprints in your heart, in your mind, then it has to bring about the product and the result. That's so if you make the bad karma, then you have to receive the results, like bad results. And so it is the basic principle of the universe according to the Buddhist teaching. So if you kill somebody with bad intention, then you make bad karma, then you will receive someday in this life or in the next life. So we cannot determine when, but it is according to the situation. Then you will receive someday surely the bad results.
Okay. So what you say is that in a next life, you can pay sort of for bad things that you've done, things that will happen to you either this life or the next life. Now, do you believe in the Christian concepts? There's a hell and there's a heaven. Do you have that kind of concepts beyond reincarnation? Is there a heaven or nirvana? Is there a hell?
Oh yes, there is. There is a heaven and a hell in Buddhism.
Okay.
And there are many heavens and many levels of heavens and many levels of the hells in Buddhism. And
tell us about that. I'm very curious about that.
Yeah, there are many, and we believe in the heaven and hell. And so, as I told you about karma, then if you do some good karma, then those people who have done such good karmas, then we believe they would go into heavens in the next life, into heavens. And in our human beings world is also the called like a good world. So he might be reincarnated into human beings, or if he made a really good karma, then he would go, he would have a birth in heaven in the next life. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What is hell?
Hell. Just like the heaven, and if you made a really bad footprints in your heart, then that bad footprints, bad karma would lead him into the hell. So hell really exists. Hell is really exists.
Is hell a place or a situation? Maybe what is hell exactly? Is that a place? In the Christian concept, hell is a place where there's flames, people burn, and there's a devil and so on.
It's similar, and sometimes it's more detail.
Oh,
and yes, some levels. There are many levels of health, and in some levels, and there is very cold world, and the people are afflicted by the coldness. Then some world are afflicted by the flames, or there are so many hells according to their karma.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Can you tell us about Buddha? Who was Buddha?
That's the most peculiar thing in the Buddhism compared with other religions, because we do not call Buddha as like a god, because he is just a sentient being. He was a sentient being, and I mean, he was just like a normal person, like us. So we can be a Buddha in Buddhism.
Okay.
And so, but the different thing he has is that he has he has he has got enlightenment
Okay.
from the all suffering. Yeah, the important thing is the suffering. So
Okay.
he has liberated from all suffering. We call it enlightenment.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Can you tell us just a bit about his life? Where did he come from? Was he about his history? Is that possible? Just to tell us about that.
Just if I tell you a short biography of
Yeah.
Buddha, then he was born in India, and he was a prince, small nation.
Mm.
Then he was he he was really happy in his the young ages, but his father heard that he would be a Buddha from the um, fortune teller.
Oh, okay.
So he tried everything to stop him, from becoming a monk or becoming a practitioner. So his father uh, did everything to make him just happy.
Mm.
So he didn't experience any suffering in his young ages.
Mm.
He didn't meet any old person, any any disease or any poverty. He didn't know about that. Then when he was grown up, then he went out for sightseeing because he wanted to know more. He wanted to experience more. Then he could meet some poverties and disease and eventually dead person.
Okay.
Then he could know the suffering in the human being's world. Then he wonders what, no, where this suffering came from.
Mm.
Then he really wanted to know
Mm.
the answer for the question. Then
For
he just,
suffering.
yeah, for the
Mm.
suffering.
Mm.
So he left the position of the prince,
Mm.
then just become a monk. Then he practiced for about 6 years. Yeah,
Mm.
so hard. Then he
Mm.
became enlightenment. He became enlightened.
Mm.
Then become a Buddha. Then he
Okay.
just started teach people about the way to the enlightenment.
So Buddha, the title Buddha is actually a title, not a person. Is that right?
If you get enlightened, then you can be
That
called
is a
Buddha.
Buddha,
Yeah, Buddha. The meaning of the Buddha is the enlightened one.
the enlightened one.
Yeah, yeah. But we call him Shakyamuni Buddha.
Okay, okay, okay.
Shaka is the name of the tribe where he was
It
born.
comes from.
Yeah. Then the Shakyamuni means the holy person.
Mm.
So Shaka, the holy person of the Shaka tribes.
Okay.
So,
So you don't pray to Buddha. Buddha is not a god. Is that right?
it's just like that. If you when you go to school,
Mm.
then we have a teacher. Then
Okay.
he teaches the
He teaches.
mathematics and grammars and so
Mm.
many things. Then he's our just really he, he is a really did many good things to us.
Ah,
Then
ah.
we just express our the
Gratitude.
gratitude.
Mm.
Then we just pay
Mm.
the respect for him. And that's the how we are doing in our temple and
Okay.
to the Buddha.
So yeah, one of the questions was actually, do you pray for the statue or uh, do you pray for the Buddha? Because
Yeah, yeah,
people
we
bow before the statue. What does that mean?
That's the same thing. I mean, yeah, the statue is just symbol.
But a symbol, okay.
Yeah, just symbol. Yeah, just yeah.
A
Even
representative.
yeah, even in Zen tradition, there is one episode about the statue.
Mm,
Then one Zen master
mm,
was a it was a real winter. Then it was really cold.
mm,
Then there was no fire was around.
mm.
Then you know what he did? He just broke the statue, the wooden
Oh,
statue. Then he just fired because it was just a symbol.
yeah.
Just
Okay.
that's why. But when we just express our gratitude, then we need some symbol. That's why we just make the statue. Mhm.
Okay. Somebody said to me that Buddhism is not a religion. Is that true?
Partly true or partly false because
Ah,
it is a little bit different from the other religions. Yeah, when you say it's a religion, because is kind of is it has kind of a philosophical aspects, a lot
mm,
of philosophical aspects,
mm,
but still we still underline the belief in the teaching
mm,
because without any belief we cannot start, we cannot begin. So and if you practice, then you can feel a lot of gratitude to the
mm,
master, to the teacher. So
okay.
it's partly the religious aspects.
Mm, mm. How do you see God?
God.
Mm. What
So
is your concept of God? Is there a God?
there is a God in Buddhism.
There is a
Yeah, but
God. Okay.
yeah, the God in Buddhism, and but I know you have a different perspective about God. So
Yeah.
please don't be offended about my
Absolutely
word.
not. No. That's why I'm asking. I don't know. Yeah.
So in Buddhism, there is God, and he is a really great being in
Mm.
the heaven,
Okay.
and he is a really powerful and a really great one, and
Mm,
is really a good and
mm,
generous one in
mm.
the heaven.
In heaven.
And
Okay.
yeah, and but he just over rules of heaven
Mm.
in the heaven. Uh,
Okay.
but we don't say the God created the world or the human beings or
Okay.
yeah, but just he is just sentient being, still sentient being.
Okay.
So, but we still admit the God, and
Mm.
also there are uh, still some uh, in heaven. There are so many beings in the heaven. So some some gods are very very not so powerful or like servants
Mm.
to the Lord or something, the Lord or the God.
Okay.
But even the powerful
Mm.
God in the heaven, we say he is still under the cycle of life and birth, life and death, the
Okay.
reincarnation.
Okay. So it's still in that whole circle.
Yeah. That's a different
Hmm.
one from the other religion.
That's very interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
Wow.
why we talk about the enlightenment and liberation from
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Let me just quickly go through some of the questions the students ask. Um, do you have holy scriptures?
Yeah. We have a whole and there are so big holy scriptures like we call like so like how like 30 times of like Holy Bibles, like
Okay.
so many and so big. So we cannot read the whole scriptures. Yeah.
So those scriptures, were they written by the Buddha or by Buddhas
No, no, no.
who wrote them?
It just the give and preach it to the people. Then his disciples so memorized all his Dhamma talks.
Oh,
Then in Indian tradition, there was no just the writing tradition. The Indian practitioners just had the tradition of memorizing the holy scriptures.
wow. And
So
oral tradition, of course.
yeah, there's old tradition. They all memorize. They memorized all of the holy scriptures. Yeah, even in Hindu tradition, they memorized them all.
The Vada.
Yeah. For after the death of Buddha, then about 500 years, then the holy scriptures were handed down through memorizing.
Okay, that's incredible, right?
Mhm.
But it's written down now, and you have access to read it if you want to.
Yeah, after 500 years after the death of Buddha, the people just started to write the holy scriptures from the memories. Yeah.
Good. That's very interesting. Thank you so much. Let me see if there's other questions. We have such a lot. Let me see. What do you think of people who do not believe in Buddhism, who do not accept Buddhism as a religion? What about them? Will they go to heaven? What will happen to them?
Yeah, surely. Yeah. I just told you that in Buddhism, the most important thing is the karma. So if he is a Christian or Muslim or a non-religious person, then the important thing is the intention and karma. So if we do some good karma, make a good karma, then he will reject. He will get reject from the good karma. Then he will go to heaven. Or yeah. So it doesn't regards with the Buddhist belief or not.
Okay. Another question. What is the life of a monk like? What is your daily life like? But tell us a bit about that.
It depends on the situation of the temple. So there are a little bit different on each temple, but normally the common life schedule is normally in temple we wake up at 3 o'clock.
Goodness.
3 o'clock, and we have some morning service at 3 o'clock in the big temple. Then in Zen temple, in Zen center, we don't do that morning service. Just we do Zen bow 3 times to the Buddha. Then we just do meditation for 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah, normally we 2 hours. And in Zen center, normally we do 8 hours a day meditation.
Meditation.
Yeah, 8 hours
Gracious.
meditation in Zen center. Yeah, morning in the dawn 2 hours, and in the morning 2 hours, and in the afternoon 2 hours, and in the evening 2 hours, and 8 hours. That's normal. Then in the other temples, then we wake up at 3 o'clock and morning service, then for about an hour, and then basic practice. Then at 6 we have breakfast. Then after breakfast, we do some chores, daily chores, or have some tea. Then about 10 o'clock, we have the midday service. And that's the main service in our temple. And then it lasts for an hour and a half. Then sometimes we just pray for the deceased person when there is a request. Then in the afternoon, we each monk has his own duty.
Mm.
So in the afternoon, normally they do their own duty.
Mm.
Then at 5 o'clock, and we have the breakfast. We have the dinner and the evening meal. Then in the evening, they do their own practice. In Zen center, there are still 2 hours meditation, sitting meditation.
Oh. Tell us about meditation. Why do you do meditation? What does it entail? Is it just sitting there? And tell us a bit about that.
Meditation is just
How do you do meditation?
is it can be explained like it's journey to your heart, to your mind, to yourself. So
It's a journey inside, right?
it's inside, because the all thing, everything in Buddhism is about like suffering and happiness.
Okay.
That's the main thing. So the reason we are doing that journey into ourselves and into our heart is to find the real happiness and the complete happiness. And it means that the purpose of the journey, the meditation, is to decrease the suffering. Then if you do meditation right, then the result of the meditation should be the decrease of the suffering. Then it happens. That's why we are doing that. And we become happier and happier than before.
I've got a question about the whole thing of suffering. Why do you think there is such a lot of suffering in the world?
In Buddhist teaching, the root of the suffering is the three things. One is greed. Another one is anger. And then the last one is ignorance. These three things make suffering in Buddhist teaching. So the journey into your heart and your mind, the meditation is just investigating the cause and effect of that greed, anger, and ignorance in your heart. So if you just lessen the power of the greed, anger, ignorance in your heart, then the result is that you become more happier than before, because we have less greed, less anger. Anger makes people sad.
That's amazing. Talk about happiness. What is your definition of happiness?
We just we can say about happiness in just a normal sense, like the feeling, the happiness feeling, or the philosophical way. But it has both meaning.
Both meanings. Yeah.
Yeah, both meanings. But when we talk about enlightenment, the happiness is a kind of the philosophical meaning.
Yeah.
But in normal sense, even in a normal sense, if you just like the same way in the suffering, like if you has less suffering, less anger, less greed, and you have a satisfaction in your mind, and if you are generous in your heart, then you feel happiness, and you can feel happiness in your heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that there is an emotion of happiness. That's that feeling and then there's a state of happiness, the philosophical part. Is that right? Did I hear you right?
I mean, the feeling of suffering. I mean, in the normal sense, happiness is kind of the happy feeling.
Feeling.
Yeah, happy feeling.
Mm.
Because if you if you get angry, then you cannot feel happy. Or if you are really greedy, and if you are really have to like something, like for example, there is a car and I really have to get a car, and about the with the greed, then you cannot be satisfied with what you have now. Then you feel really greedy, and you feel like anxious about that. Then you cannot feel any happiness at the time. But if you just throw out all the greed and just can be satisfied with what you have, then you can be relaxed and you can feel and peacefulness and happiness. Yeah, that's the in the level of the feeling of happiness. But we when in a philosophical way of happiness, as I told you, that even the heaven is under the cycle of life and birth, and under the cycle of and happiness and suffering. But in the philosophical way, the complete happiness is complete freedom from from the suffering and happiness. It's from the cycle of life and death. Yeah.
Somebody define happiness as actually contentment. And I think that makes a lot of sense for me, that happiness is total contentment, not so much an emotion of, because emotions usually last very short time, and contentment is a deep feeling. So I think that's what I hear from you.
Yeah, that is part of the happiness. Yeah, it could be the aspect of the happiness, but in Buddhism, it's not all.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There was a question that somebody asked about what does 108 worship in Buddhism mean? I don't know if that makes sense to you. The question is, what does 108 worship in Buddhism mean? Does it make sense?
108 bows. 108 bows.
Ah, tell us about
bows. Yeah. In Buddhism, there are many numbers.
Yeah.
Symbolizing the teaching of the Buddha's teaching.
Yeah.
Then 108 means like sometimes is the numbers of our thoughts, like our suffering.
So it means that you have to bow 108 times.
No, it's just used for our bowing.
Okay.
So normally when we do our bowing practice, then we do the 108 times.
Okay.
So
goodness gracious, I wonder if I would be able to do that this time.
So you see the beads, the Buddhist beads.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Then there are also made with the 108 beads.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you do with the beads? The beads? Do you? Yeah, the beads. Yeah. What do you do?
We just recite the Buddha's name for the practice. You read the beads and then you count the number.
Okay.
Sometimes when you do bows, many bows, then we just count the number of the bows.
Okay. Yeah. What do you eat? Somebody asked if Buddhism or Buddhists are vegans or vegetarians. can you tell us if there are any rules about food?
Yeah, the rules about
Rules,
food.
yeah, food.
Yeah, and it's different to, according to the tradition of the
Okay.
Buddhist tradition.
Mm,
Like in the like East Asian Buddhism, like Thailand or Burma, they are not vegetarian. They eat meat,
okay.
and because even in India, the Buddha so ate meat.
Okay. I didn't
Then
know that.
yeah, he was not vegetarian at the time.
Okay.
Then the Buddhism just spread all over the world after his death. Then when the Buddhism went to China and to Korea, it became a vegetarian tradition.
Okay.
So now in our tradition, Mahayana tradition, we are vegetarian.
Good, good. Let me just see if there's other question. I hope I ask all the questions. Yeah, it seems like, right. Any of our students who want to ask questions? I hope you're okay with that. Guys, come, ask.
No, no problem. Yeah, me?
No, I want the students to ask questions to you. So I'm inviting
Oh,
them.
excuse me.
So guys, any questions you want to ask? Don't be shy.
Can I give a question, Professor?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So if he reaches enlightenment, so how is the feeling of enlightenment, for example, if he reaches? Like what he's saying? The last,
I couldn't hear exactly. Please explain one more time.
like if you have reached enlightenment, yeah, have you reached? No.
Mhm. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Uh, so if you are reached enlightenment, like what's the feeling of it? Like how you can feel or how you seeing? What it makes different you from another person?
Okay. You want me to describe the enactment? Is it right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Then enactment is, we cannot say that, we cannot describe exactly, because if we try to describe the state of the enactment, then right right away is wrong. Can you understand me? Because enactment beyond the description of a word or feeling. So whatever you wanna express, you wanna describe the enactment with any expression, then it would be wrong. That's just experience of the enactment. And we can, so with words we cannot express exactly, but the one way we can just describe the enactment is that, as I told you, we have suffering, then enlightenment is the extinction of all suffering, and is the experience beyond the old words and feeling. And he would be the most peaceful and the most generous and most loving kind people in the world. Yeah, that's how we define the enlightenment in our Buddhist teaching. Is that okay?
Okay. Seems
Yeah,
like that.
that's
Good.
right.
Thank you. There was also a question, can monks marry? Can you get married? Can you have a relationship like that? Somebody
Oh,
asked that.
okay. No,
No, you cannot.
it's not possible. And some monks are doing that, but we don't call him monks because in our real tradition, it's prohibited.
Okay, so
Completely.
nothing like that. Okay. Good, interesting. How do you become a monk? What is the procedure? What is the initiation? Tell us about that.
A procedure of becoming
Yeah.
monk.
If there's anyone of our people who want to become a monk.
Yeah, if anybody want to become a monk, then come to the temple, and then we welcome. Then the first thing is that you have to take some like a preliminary courses, and like you cannot become a monk right away. When you come to the temple, then you have to go through like a 6 months preliminary course as just a practitioner, lay practitioner. Then when you get accustomed to the temple, then you will get the preliminary monk. I mean, he's not a real monk yet. He has to go through 4 years course.
So a learner monk, kind of.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah.
In the 4 years course, then he has to go through 4 years basic training. Like he can choose the many places, like he can choose Zen Center or Monks University, or in other Buddha's school. He can choose options, but anyway he have to go through 4 years the basic training. Then after 4 years training, he would get test. Then if he passed the test, then he get ordination, Buddha monks, the bhikkhu
ordination.
Then that's the first year of his becoming monk.
Okay. Are there certain levels then? So from a monk you can maybe progress.
I'm sorry, our internet connection is a little bit unstable. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any levels of being a monk? So you're a monk and then there's one level up and so on. Is there a hierarchy?
Yeah, there's a hierarchy. In our Sangha, Sangha is the monks' congregation, is called Sangha.
Sangha,
and in our Sangha, the hierarchy is decided according to the age of becoming monk.
Okay.
So
age, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Dhamma age, I mean Dhamma age, not a real the secular age. So Dhamma age is decided when he become a monk.
Okay. So that's sort of sacred in a sacred sense.
Yeah, so like if you become a monk this year, then you are the first year.
I
1
see.
year, 1 year old,
Okay, 1 year.
in Dhamma age.
So how old are you now in Dhamma age?
In Dhamma age, I'm 18 years old.
Okay. Wow. Another question that there was, why do you shave your head? What's the significance of that?
Because it was from the Buddha's age, they have been doing that, and we think the meaning of the shaving head, like shaving our agonies and sufferings.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, good. Wow. Any other questions from our students?
Professor, can I ask?
Yes, you can.
First of all, thank you for information and nice to meet you.
Okay, nice to see you.
I have questions about the women's. Do they have some rules for the women's?
Huh?
Do you have some rules for the women and girls?
Rules for the
women.
Rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a rules. There are rules for the women, and basically we cannot have any sexual intercourse with the woman, and we cannot get married, and our rules, according to our rules, we cannot see women in a really remote area alone. So because there could be rumor around the people. So we don't meet one lady, just one lady in a remote area. So when we meet women, they're in an open area.
Are they women monks?
Monks.
Women.
Yeah, there are women monks too.
Okay, okay, right.
Yeah, there are many.
Okay, I see. Yes, yeah. Great. Any other questions, guys? That you guys want to ask? Good. Yes. The last thing that I just want to ask you is temple stays. Is that possible? How does a temple stay work? Is it a weekend? What does it? Let me see.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
It seems like our internet connection is a little bit unstable.
Okay, right. Maybe just in the last question. If students would like to visit the temple, can they come for a temple stay? What does it entail? Temple stay.
Oh yeah, the temple I'm living in is Daejeon in Mungyang, and there is a temple stay program. So you can visit our temple, and you can search the temple in the internet, Daejeon in Mungyang.
Okay.
Then you can apply for the temple stay program anytime.
Would you recommend that a temple stay? Is that a good thing for people
temple
to do?
Stay in you mean another temple or other temple?
Your temple or any temple stay, is that a very good experience for anyone? Would you recommend that? I hope you didn't. Are you still there? Okay. Right.
Sorry.
Okay.
I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I think we can end here. I would like to say to you, thank you so much for your time and for all the interesting things that you told us. I learned lots, and I think that our class members also learned a lot. So
no, it's an honor to join your class.
So really, thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Really
Anything that you want to say to us as a last thing?
Actually, it's really nice for you to teach people with a really open mind. So it's really good, and it was a really interesting experience to me too. So really, good. Thank you, all of you.
Okay, thanks from us as well. Thank you so much.
May you all happy, and you can find your real happiness.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can leave. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good. Okay, right. Okay, everybody. Okay, any remarks? Thank you for your questions.